What's going down, y'all? It's the Wake Up Crew here to talk some NBA prop plays over on Prize Picks for this Wednesday, November the 2nd, 2022 NBA slate. Got a lot of games on tap for tonight. Want to get into a couple of plays that we like, that we're looking at. Quick recap of the plays that we talked about yesterday. The plays that hit: Bam Adebayo, more than 30.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He had 32 on the night. Shai Gilgeous, what is it? Gilgeous?
Something like that. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is probably how I would say it. Whether that's right or wrong, you got to say it confidently and just let it out there. You got to say it
confidently. He went over his fantasy score of actually 47.5. Josh Giddey was announced in. He went over. I liked it at 48, but he smashed that. He had 5 blocks and steals, 34 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, something like that. He crushed his fantasy score. Steph Curry on Prize Picks, he had 4. Jay talked about the play. More than 4 3-pointers. He had 4 on the dot, so that pushed. It didn't kill your ticket, just lowered your winnings down. But he did not go over his taco, nor did he go over his points. He did not. Had 23 points. He turned into a rebounder and a facilitator the whole game. Yeah, all world, man. Triple-double for Steph Curry. So overall, pretty solid night on the channel. We got a couple of plays. We got the data. We grind the model. We'll give you it for free. We don't make you pay for picks. Just hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe, like, and comment below. Let us know what you're playing. But let's get into those NBA plays right now.
For all the high-flying action, take a step back and relax. It's time to count that money, the NBA props. No look any further. You know what time it is. Presented by Prize Picks, NBA props. Let's
count that money, man. All right, Jay, let's get into it. Who you looking at first and foremost on the board tonight?
First, I got to start with someone who's not really high in the model because our model relies heavily on past data. So we're going right to Sacramento Kings guard Davion Mitchell, one of the fiercest defenders in all of the NBA, especially as a rookie. But De'Aaron Fox not going to play in this one, Ray. So we are in a great spot where we can get a young player who is extremely talented tonight with some pretty low numbers. We're starting off with Davion Mitchell. Do we still get the 1.5 3-pointers? We do. That is beautiful. 1.5 3-pointers for Davion Mitchell. He hits this number, I believe, seven of his 19 starts. He's missed this when he's been announced a starter. This is a great number. We saw it last night. We had Klay Thompson and Steph Curry both hit 4 threes in the backcourt up against the Miami Heat. Miami Heat are on a back-to-back. The Kings have had a day off since Monday. And like you see here, Mitchell played 31 minutes in the absence of De'Aaron Fox off the bench, so he will be starting and play a full allotment of minutes in this one. And he went 4 for 5 from deep. He had been struggling from 3, but since coming in that game against the number 1 rated Charlotte Hornets defense from against the three-pointer, now they're playing one of the worst defenses against the three-pointer. I fully expect him to go over in this one. It's minus 130 or worse on the books right now. I also like his over points, rebounds, and assists. It's minus 115 or even potentially 23.5. Mitchell, when he starts, averages 18 points, 7.4 assists, and 2.3 rebounds in his 19 starts last season. This year gets his first start without De'Aaron Fox. I think he's in a great spot to smash. I like the three-pointers the best, but I also like the points, rebounds, and assists over 22.5 as well.
Yeah, these numbers seem low for a player who's going to have the ball in their hands a lot in this matchup right here versus what you said, a bad 3-point defensive team. And I like Mitchell as well. I want to talk about his turnovers, more than 2.5 turnovers. So with him in the starting lineup, he has averaged 2.8 turnovers a game last season when he was the starter. In one of those games, he faced off against Miami and he had 4 turnovers in that one. So right now, the Miami Heat, they're causing about the 5th most turnovers to opposing point guards per game at 4.06. And versus the Heat 2 games ago, Mitchell also had 4 turnovers in 12 minutes. He had 4 turnovers.
Yikes.
In versus Charlotte, he had 5 turnovers in 31 minutes. Every single point guard has had 3+ turnovers versus the Heat this season, except Fred VanVleet from the Toronto Raptors. So again, every point guard that's faced Miami has had 3+ turnovers, except Fred. And they rotate ball handlers coming up the floor, right? So, somebody that's going to have the ball in their hands a ton in this one versus a team that causes 4 turnovers a game to the point guard position. This is one that I really, really like. This is juiced heavy to the over right now. I saw his pricing as low as minus 145 at 2.5 turnovers for Mitchell. So I am hammering this tonight as a core play. I think the 3-pointers are nice. I like the turnovers for him. I like both of these plays, Jay. These are the two that Mitchell is a core play for me tonight for sure.
Yeah, he's just underpriced across all the books, and this will go up with time. But tonight, in his first opportunity to start, we're getting great numbers for pretty much everything that I've been seeing. But Ray, where do you want to go next with your next pick?
Yeah, the next one that I want to throw out there, I'm right back to the well, and I'm sticking with it. Jayson Tatum's back. They had a night of rest, and his first half points at 13 and a half. He's averaging 17.8 this season, first half points versus Washington, 18. Cleveland, he's facing off against Cleveland again. He had 24 a couple of nights ago versus Cleveland. With rest, Jayson Tatum, usage rate, he and Jaylen Brown right at the top. They're both top 5 in minutes per game in the first half. As long as he stays out of foul trouble, I think 14 points is well within reach for Jayson Tatum in this one. I'm taking more than 13 and a half first half points for Tatum.
Yeah, man, I love that. You know, I'm all in on Jayson Tatum, one of my favorite players in the NBA. So I definitely can't hate on that pick at all. But Ray, I do want to go over to Milwaukee for my next pick. And it's not going to be Giannis. You know, I love to take Giannis as much as I can.
Okay.
But I'm going to Brook Lopez today. And the one that I like the most is actually his fantasy score. Brook Lopez, surprisingly, has been a fantasy score machine. What is it?
Wow.
Oh, they bumped it up. It was I think 28 and a half or 29 and a half. Now it's 30 and a half. Ray, did you know that Brook Lopez has 2 blocks every game this season? He's coming off back-to-back 20-point games. One of those 20-point games was against these Detroit Pistons. They play them again tonight. I think Brook Lopez is in a great spot. He's rebounding. He's hitting his threes at a pretty decent clip. He's blocking a ton of shots. And it's not just 2 every night. He's got a game with 4. He's got a game with 5. He's doing everything out there. So he's just really clogging the paint. He's getting his rebounds when Giannis isn't. And he's still scoring at a pretty high clip. So up against Detroit again tonight, I like him to have another good game. You see what he did last game against them. I think he can have a repeat performance in this one.
Man, there are a lot of plays, and I like this a lot. I am going to run Brook Lopez. You sold me. I trust the data, not my emotions. There are a lot of plays tonight, Jay. We got Luka on tap. DeMar DeRozan, I just want to throw that out there for DeRozan. I really do like his fantasy score. I believe Zach LaVine is going to be out tonight. He's like listed as doubtful. They want to ease him back in. But 40 and a half fantasy score for DeMar DeRozan. I know he has not hit this at all. I mean, you look at what he's done this season versus Charlotte, though. The usage rate for DeRozan should be there. And last year, he averaged about, I think it's close to 49 fantasy score, and he covered in, I believe, 12 or 13 of 17 games without Zach LaVine in the lineup. So I like DeRozan. I wouldn't make him a core play, but I do like him. But, Jay, we've got DeRozan on tap. We've got Luka playing tonight. We got Trae Young. You're looking down the board. There are a lot of good players in this matchup. Cade Cunningham, who's been on fire. I do want to talk about Cade's first half points. I believe they're only at 10 and a half for Cunningham versus Milwaukee. And they said Drew Holiday is questionable. He's probably going to play. I'm not going to.
He's actually, I believe he's probable now. I was looking at that earlier. He is probable to play. Him and LeBron are probable to play.
Yeah.
So he should be back for sure.
I mean, you've got Cade's first half points that look good. And you talked about LeBron and the Lakers, the worst defensive rebounding team in the NBA. So when you're looking at Zion Williamson, Valanciunas, I think there are a lot of opportunities to attack the LA Lakers in this matchup as well. So there's a lot on tap tonight. Ja Morant's playing, but our core plays, Brook Lopez, more than 30 and a half fantasy score. Tatum, more than 13 and a half first half points. Mitchell's turnovers at 2.5, and Davion Mitchell's 3-pointers at 1.5. A lot going on tonight. I don't want to be overweight. It's still early in the season, so I'm trying to bankroll manage and not get too out of control with these plays. But there are a lot of good players on the board. Any ones that you just want to toss out there real quick that you're looking at, Jay, that you might run on a few tickets but don't want to recommend to the people as a core play?
So one of the big ones that a lot of people are on tonight, Ray, and we can touch on it very briefly, Trae Young's back in the Garden. Right? Trae Young is back in the Garden. Everyone knows his feud with New York Knicks fans and all these things, but his points are high. And so you may see a lot of people on Trae Young's points. I'm iffy on it. I'm not all in on Trae Young's points. And yes, you could, he's got some big games. He's been scoring well lately. The big thing for me with Trae Young, he either puts up 40 points in the Garden or he puts up less than 24. So he's a bit split in that regard. He could totally have a big game. The New York Knicks, Jalen Brunson, don't expect them to stop him at all. Much more consistent from the assist department as far as I'm concerned. But you will see a lot of people on that one. But one of the ones I do like as well is Kevin Huerter. Kevin Huerter lit up the Miami Heat last game. I don't know if you saw his stats, 5 threes, 25 points. Dude was just on fire. Again, another guard lighting up the Miami Heat. And we've seen it time and time again. So if you want to go Kevin Huerter 25.5 or 15.5 points, I believe he scored 25 last game against the Heat. And it was basically all from three because he was just making it rain against them last time.
Lot on tap, so I'm glad y'all have tapped in. Again, take what you like, leave what you don't. Just hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, like, comment below. If you tail, give PrizePicks hell, and if we failed on bail, we'll be back tomorrow with more NBA picks. Enjoy the plays, and I hope you win some cash later on this evening. Good luck, and we are out. Peace.